And we are back on Countdown to Kickoff, the 2013 look at the upcoming high school football season, brought to you by Action 4 Sports and ValleyCentral.com. I got to tell you, Joe, I think the Bird Bowl this year is going to be one of the hottest, most anticipated Bird Bowls ever, because the 32-5A district title could be at stake.
Yeah, and this year, Harlingen South has the firepower to make that statement without any intangibles of what-ifs. If they play good football, we could see a great Bird Bowl, and it could very well decide that district.
Meanwhile, Los Fresnos, who knows? They've got one of the top receivers in all of South Texas. They might be making a run at it, and to know which Brownsville team might make the playoffs as well. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's have a special preview on District 32-5A.
District 32-5A.
Our biggest recruit was our program. I think the kids themselves went out and got other kids to say, come on in, because you're going to like what you see out here. I think the biggest difference is they know me and I know them, and that to me is big.
Renee Medrano's second year at the helm at Hannah brings with it bigger expectations as well. But before any playoff talk can start, first the Eagles must settle a three-way battle for quarterback, then it's all in for week 0.
First goal is just playing against Sherryland. That's one team we've lost against them the past 3 years. We don't want to lose them against this year.
We're a lot more confident in what we can do. There's kind of a new feeling of that in the air here.
Despite losing their head coach in the offseason, Brownsville Lopez is not starting from scratch, rather building from strength. A strength that includes third-year starter Mondo Castillo, a 6'2", 280-pound left tackle who leads the Lobos offense.
I saw him my first year here and grabbed him up quickly because he's not very many kids in this valley look me in the eye, but Mondo's one of those few. We want to go out there and we want to show these non-district games that we're serious. We're here to do some work and we're here to have the best year we can have.
The coaches are more familiar with the players. We know what to tell them, how to coach them up. So that always helps.
It does help when you have coaches in place for more than a few weeks before your season starts, but Pace never used Brownsville ISD's sabotage as an excuse in 2012. Now the Vikings are a year older, a year wiser, and that includes junior quarterback Alex Cisneros.
Alex has gained a lot of confidence. Obviously, he's bigger and stronger than he was last year, so we're real excited. He's throwing the ball well right now. He's seeing things that he never saw last year.
We're acting like this is the first year Porter's ever had a football program, and so there's no real expectations of what's gone on in the past or compared to the past. We're just worried about what this team can do this year and then build off of that.
A fresh start at Porter, both for head coach Tom Campos back in Brownsville after being railroaded out of Hannah in 2011, and for the Cowboys themselves looking to rebound from a winless 2012. New quarterback Oscar Rodriguez, running Campos' West Coast offense, can already feel the difference.
Everybody's actually really expecting a lot out of us, and we see it too because we see ourselves progressing and we see ourselves getting better.
With our offensive people back and our skilled people back as receivers, we get to expand the offense a little bit and throw the ball in with a little bit more formations that we never used last year.
Unlike last year, Rivera coach Tom Chavez has actually had more than 5 weeks to coach his team before the season opener. Expect the new wrinkles in the Raiders offense to pay dividends for senior tailback Jack Will Evans, who looks to double the 2,000 yards and 10 touchdowns he's racked up the past 2 seasons combined.
Our hard work is going to pay off at the end of the season, because we want to go to the state playoffs this year. I actually want to run for 2,000 yards and try to be MVP of the Valley, make the All-Star game.
And anybody who knows football knows that if you don't have the guys up front, if you do not have the offensive line, I don't care who's playing quarterback, running back, receivers, and nothing's going to work. And the fact that we do have those guys up front, I feel good about them.
These Chargers are charged with the protection of new sophomore quarterback Marcus Castillo, and the linemen's lines of communication are stronger than most.
He helps me out, I help him out. We got each other's backs, just in life and also on the field. With some people say we're brothers on the field, but we're literally brothers on the line.
We definitely will not forget 42-2. It was not Cardinal football for us last year, and we've carried that on throughout the offseason. It's motivated us.
If a motivated Harlingen team sounds like a scary prospect, it should. The Cardinals' defensive front seven is big, strong, and aggressive, while the offense is rallying around second-year quarterback Brandon Garza, whom they believe was unfairly blamed for Big Red's 4-loss season in 2012.
He took some lumps last year, but he's a big kid, man. He prepared himself for it mentally, and you know, he survived it. Now it's one of those things about now going out there and having some fun. The bottom line is the kid's ready. The kids around him are definitely believe in him. They definitely believe in each other.
Hopefully Jaden can run the ball. He will run the ball. He will. I know he will.
Jaden will run the ball.
Jaden will run the ball, I guarantee.
Jaden is junior running back Jaden Taylor, looking to improve on his 1,500-yard, 17-touchdown 2012 season. Can the Hawks' defense improve? South shut out half of their district opponents last year. They only let up 14 points in 6 total games, but the coach says, "What have you done for me lately?"
We have some starters back, but a lot of the defense is just getting after it. And we're going to see if we're going to do that Friday, and if we won't do that, then we're going to replace some people, because we have a lot of people that are trying to get one of those 11 starting positions out here. You have to come out here and prove yourself each day. If you don't, you won't be a starter.
I'm excited about Javier Cruz. He's not going to have those Friday night big eyes, you know, and, you know, I expect great things from him. He's way ahead of where he's been in the past. He's spent a lot of time on his own studying film, and he's paid the price.
Falcons coach Clint Finley with strong praise for his quarterback, Javi Cruz, a senior who started 3 games for Los Fresnos last season. Cruz takes over signal calling with full support from his #1 target, Brandon Colon, a 6'5" wide receiver who already has offers from UTSA, Navy, Dartmouth, and Cornell.
The offense is running well. I mean, Javi, he's a bigger quarterback. He can run more, but he can also throw just as well. So we have a lot of options on offense.
District 32 5A.
Hey, how about that? 32-5A, looking good. Some of these Brownsville schools coming up and at them. You know, new coaches at Brownsville Lopez, new coaches at Brownsville Porter, and things are looking good down there in B-Town.
Yeah, I like to see the fact that the Brownsville schools are no longer the mystery school. They all have some solid players for a change this year right down the line. It's not going to be the last one standing. It's going to be whoever wins some big-time football games. But how about Harlingen coming in saying, not satisfied with last year? Beware of the Harlingen Cardinals.
Yeah, and of course Los Fresnos is the team that gave them the big upset last year in district play. Can they do it again? We are going to talk more about 32-5A when we come back. We're going to be joined by Eladio Jaimes and Mario Aguirre of the Brownsville Herald, talking all things District 32-5A. We'll make our predictions when we come back on Countdown to Kickoff, live from Sherrylands Rattler Stadium in Mission. Stay tuned to Action 4 Sports at valleycentral.com. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. It is Action 4 and Valley Central's look at the upcoming 2013 high school football season. We are live from Sherrylands Rattler Stadium in Mission, and I am talking 32-5A football with a couple of guys who know it really well. It's Mario Aguirre of the Brownsville Herald. Eladio Jaimes, you were at the scrimmage last night with Prime Prep, this Sherryland Rattlers team, and the Harlingen Cardinals. They each beat each other in a round robin. Did we learn anything from that scrimmage last night? What did you learn?
Well, I learned that, for one, Dion's a nice guy. That's the biggest thing I learned. I mean, I was a fan of his and with the Cowboys everywhere, but, you know, I got to see a side of Dion that nobody's seen. But locally, staying locally, I saw that Harlingen had a very good defense. Harlingen looked very good on defense. Sherryland looked very good on defense. When these two guys went at each other, nobody scored until late in the second quarter, which was a 2-quarter scrimmage. But you expect, obviously, they're 2 powerhouses, 2 Valley powerhouses, probably the 2 best 5A teams in the Valley as far as programs go all time. But, you know, they both had very good defenses. They both looked solid. They were hitting hard. They were getting after the ball. They were swarming at the ball. And I'm looking forward to just Sherryland and Harlingen again.
All right, Mario, let's talk about Brownsville football for a second. Brownsville veterans came out and stunned a lot of people with their big win in the first round of the playoffs. They went on to the second round. They lost a lot of guys from that team. Is Brownsville veterans still the cream of the crop when it comes to Brownsville schools, or do we have another champion for that town?
I have them as my fourth pick right now in 32-5A. Kind of by default, them, Hannah, and Rivera, I have them in the mix. It's going to be hard replacing Marco Munoz, did everything for him, and now his backup is a sophomore quarterback. And I mean, he has time to grow within the program, but I just don't know what they'll be able to do this year.
Two new coaches in Brownsville, down in Southmost, one at Porter, one at Lopez. Tom Campos comes back from Edinburgh Vela, where he was offensive coordinator. He's got the Cowboys. Jason Starkey, former NFL player, has got Lopez. Are we going to see anything out of those two teams, or is it still too early yet?
With Porter, I think it's still too early. Lopez has a good number of returners. They have 7 on offense, 5 on offense, 7 on defense. So they have a good showing there. The thing is, they have a quarterback race they still haven't determined. So that's a little bit leaves things uncertain going into the season opener.
Meanwhile, up in Harlingen, this Bird Bowl already circled for November 9th, if I remember my calendar right. Harlingen South thinks they've got the firepower. Do they?
On paper, they look tough. And I wasn't at the scrimmage last night in McAllen, but from what I've been hearing is they looked really good. And they got 6 coming back on offense, 7 on defense. A lot of people talk about Jaden Taylor. A lot of people talk about Nate Garcia, Sean Montemayor. Those guys are legit. Those guys are going to show up. And if South is going to do anything, it's because those guys are going to need to show up and play every Friday night and do what everybody expects them to do. But nobody's really talking about the defense. And South has a lot of starters going back on defense with Brandon Rodriguez, who's their linebacker. I saw he's been starting since he was a sophomore. He's not the biggest guy on the team. He's not the biggest linebacker in the Valley, but he's one of those linebackers, your typical Valley linebacker. He's going to get after. He's going to hit you hard. And, you know, with him and that defense, I think South can make a lot of noise. Maybe one of the top teams, if not the top team in the Valley this year.
Meanwhile, Los Fresnos is saying, hey, what about us? We're the team that beat Harlingen last year. They've got Brandon Colon, who is, you know, one of the top recruits in the Valley. He's already been offered by a couple of, Ivy League schools besides UT San Antonio. Does Los Fresnos have the firepower to make a run at the district championship at 32-5A?
I think he was the unanimous pick for number 3 across all our sports reporters at the paper. And I mean, they have 3 on coming back from each side. I think they do. They've had the same system for 4 years now under Clint Finley, so I think they do.
All right, so let's go ahead and get your picks. Who are the 4 that are going to make it to the playoffs, and in what order?
I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm going to start from the bottom up. At 4th, I got Hannah. Like Mario said, Hannah, they had a good freshman group a few years ago, and I expect them, especially with veteran Coach Medrano there, I expect them to do well. Then I got Los Fresnos. Los Fresnos, I talked to Coach Finley a few days ago, and he's confident. He's confident that his team can make a run for district title, but the 2 Harlingen do look tough. I just talked to Harlingen South, but I pick them at 2.
Okay.
2. They're going to be good. It's going to come down to that Bird Bowl, man, and right now, you know, South has the talent. South has the firepower to pull it off, but it is preseason talk. This is all paper talk. If it's still Harlingen, you know, it's still Harlingen. So until they get dethroned, I'm picking Harlingen and Harlingen South at number 2.
Mario, quickly, picks.
I wasn't sure with number 4, but after seeing Hannah last night, I have to go with them for the 4th spot. Los Fresnos number 3, Harlingen number 2, and Harlingen South number 1.
All right, you're going South at number 1. I also am going with Harlingen number 1 over South. I think that defense of Harlingen just too strong. I've got Los Fresnos in 3rd, just like y'all 3 of you do. My Brownsville team of the year, Brownsville Rivera. I think Tom Chavez has got a good squad down there. I think with Jaquil Evans as a senior, he's got some other guys. I think they're going to be able to open him up on that offense. Mario, thank you so much. Eladio, thank you. That's our 32-5A discussion here on Countdown to Kickoff. We are coming right back. Don't go anywhere. Action 4 Sports at valleycentral.com looking at the upcoming high school football season. We'll be right back right after this.
Back here at Sherryland, live coverage, the Countdown to Kickoff 2013, live here on Action 4, live streaming on valleycentral.com. Social media, let's talk about it, Sergio. It doesn't matter where you're at, any social media, any venue, the trifecta I talked about earlier, we got it covered.
Yeah, we sure do. Now, of course, Valley Football Central watched worldwide last year. We anticipate the same again this year. Across the Valley, across Texas, the United States, and the world. Wherever Valley people live, they're tuning in to Valley Football Central to watch our football games.
And of course, that all begins on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes 4 games broadcast. This guy's going to be busy. 9 games, I think, on the first Friday.
Friday.
Right, and we already have people shouting out for teams. I got Alex Adami on Twitter saying, go Donna Redskins. We got Daisy Martinez from Brownsville, our very own, saying, go Rivera Raiders.
And Rivera Raiders. Now, Clay Williams has got a couple of guys with him. It was football and Mission, and why not have both Mission coaches? Clay, what do you got over there?
Well, hey, Mission is the place to be, guys, and we've got all the Mission coaches here with us. We've got David Gilpin right here. He's the head coach of Mission Veterans. Mario Pena right here, the coach at Mission High with the Eagles. Coach Pena, let's start with you. How excited are you to kick off this season, especially with the great season you guys had last year?
I'm fired up, pumped up, and ready to go, and definitely, we're coming off a great season, and definitely we want to build on that. We're another district title, and hopefully we can bring that hardware back to Mission.
Well, standing in your way is going to be this guy over here, but talk about the rivalry you guys have, because it seems like it's such a civil rivalry. It seems like, everybody in Mission ISD, loves each other, but you guys get out there and throw down when it gets on the field, but once it's done, it's done.
Well, actually, we get along pretty well, and I've communicated with David, I'm going to be pulling for them when they're not playing us. The week that we play each other, he knows, and I know the gloves are off, and we're going to get after it.
Talk about the Mission rivalry. Talk about that inter-city rivalry between the Patriots and the Eagles and how much fun it is, Coach.
Oh, Mario hit the nail on the head. Mario and I are great friends. We work very well together, and when it's game week between Mission and Mission Veterans, it's gonna be exciting for those involved. You said the word though, it's civil. Once those 4 quarters on the field are going to be knocked down, drag out, and then that week leading in, we're not going to be talking a whole lot to each other and to each other's programs, but before and after, we're going to be on the same page with each other.
Let's talk quarterbacks real quick before we go. You've got one of the best, if not the best, in the Valley in Santos Villarreal. What do you expect from him this season?
Well, I continue to say Santos is the best in the Valley. It's putting a lot of pressure on the young man. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think he was of the caliber to handle that. He opened up our scrimmage season last night, closed out our training camp when scrimmage, and he was right there exactly where we expected him to be. Poised in the pocket, dangerous in the open field, throwing the ball well, and we're going to put the load on his shoulders, and we know he's capable of carrying it for us.
Meanwhile, Coach, your new quarterback, we talked the other week about how he's still got that defensive sensibility, still wants to go out there and hit people. How's he doing as camp ends and you guys get ready for week 0?
Definitely for Steven Cavazos right now, we're converting a kid that was a first-team all-district defensive end and making him a quarterback, and it's a matter of time for him. Basically what I'm telling Steven is you need to relax, let the game come to you right now. The more reps that you get, the better you're going to get at it. Until that happens, then we're going to bank on our defense keeping us in the game.
All right. Mario Pena of the Mission Eagles, David Gilpin of the Mission Veterans Patriots. Mission is the place to be. That's where we're at. Countdown to kickoff is here at Sherrylands Rattlers Stadium in Mission, and we are coming right back to talk about both of these gentlemen's teams in District 32 4A. Is it the new meat grinder? Sure seems tough, top to bottom. We're talking about it when we come back.